Welcome everyone, Built Out here. I'm super excited about this video. In this video, we're going to talk about PMO maturity models. I love this topic, right? I love it because it's so confusing and PMO leaders just don't know what to do with it. They know they got to mature their PMO, but they don't know how to attack it. So I'm going to jump into it. Lots of confusions, but what I want to do is really talk about the pros and cons of having a maturity model, and we're going to cover all that today. Over the last 20 years, I've ran 10 PMOs across 4 different companies. I've learned a lot of tips, a lot of tricks. I've been using maturity models for many years. I absolutely love this topic. Today I'm running my largest PMO to date, 37 employees, over 100 active projects in one of the best companies in the world. So in this video, we're going to be discussing the benefits and the drawbacks of creating a project management maturity model within your PMO. First, let's define what a maturity model is. Maturity model is a framework for assessing an organization's project management best practices against industry best practices, right? The purpose of this maturity model is to identify where improvement areas can be made to increase efficiency and effectiveness within your PMO. Before I continue, let me ask you a question. Do you have a maturity model in your PMO? If so, what's your rating? What rating are you at? I'd love to know. Comment below because I really like to understand where you're at today and where you're heading and how you're moving that bar. Okay, let's get into it on the pros. What are the pros or the benefits of creating a maturity model, right? We have to start with improved process standardization. Right? A maturity model is going to help standardize processes across your programs and projects by providing guidelines on how each step should be done. That's the whole idea of a maturity model, right? You have processes in place to mature how you're doing to increase the consistency, the predictability, the scalability, right? Think about my PMO today. I'm running over 100 active projects. The only way to run a mature PMO like that is having that consistency, having that repeatability, and that scalability. You couldn't run it without that. Number 2, better understanding where to grow the organization. This is a key point of running a maturity model. Using a maturity model assesses the organization and identifying their strengths and their weaknesses so they can allocate resources to process improvement projects, right? That's just part of running an organization. You have to have process improvement projects. So for example, if you have a very weak and a very loose risk management process, for example, being able to identify that through the maturity model process will clearly allow you to understand where to focus on, right? So if risk management's weak, your maturity model process finds that out and determines that, then you can put a process improvement in place to improve that maturity or that risk management. Number 3, clear visibility. Right? So maturity models provide clear visibility around your organization's current state and highlighting where you need attention or investment to move that bar forward. This improves decision-making abilities at all levels within the organization, particularly around where you need to move that bar forward, right? Risk management, issue management, schedule management, whatever the case may be within your PMO. Does that make sense? Do you agree or not? Definitely comment below because I'd love to understand where you're at. Okay, now let's move on to the cons or the drawbacks of running a maturity model in your PMO. I think you have to do it, but you have to go in with eyes wide open. Time consuming. Creating and implementing a mature system takes time, right? Implementing significant process changes or establishing new governance frameworks or new risk management models or issue management, right? It often takes months. Sometimes if they're even much larger like governance, it could take years to get those benefits, right? So it requires patience, it requires that consistency and continue to move that bar. But again, don't look for quick wins because there's really no quick fixes when you're looking to establish and put in a maturity model. Number 2, cost prohibitive, right? Implementing maturity models requires, in some cases, considerable costs, right? That could mean bringing in external consultants to doing the review and putting the things in place. Training costs, right? Getting staff up to speed on these new ways of thinking and new ways of working. Implementation costs, right? There could be some software, right? There are other costs from a time perspective, right? This time that people are taking away from their actually running their corporate projects and doing process improvement projects to increase the maturity, there's a cost to that as well. And then in that same vein, number 3 is resistance from staff, right? Changes are rarely welcomed by everyone, right? So changes are often seen like nonsense or bureaucratic or administrative, and it really distracts them from getting the real work done, the real corporate projects, because that's what they're there for. But actually, that's such a misconception, right? So there's going to be some resistance when you're looking to change the way people are working, and that's a critical cost, if you would, or a drawback or a con of doing a maturity model, but it's going to be there, and you're just going to have to power your way through it, because maturity models do make sense for every PMO. Does that make sense? What do you think? Okay, let's summarize. Creating a maturity model is critical in running a successful world-class PMO. I can't stress that enough. Understanding where you are today, where you need to go, and that gap is critical, right? Having a mature process in place and a maturity model to be able to move your PMO forward is critical in running a successful organization. All right, that's all I have today. Quick reminder, if you like this story, you like this topic, please like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. And again, I'm always producing new videos, so hit that little bell so you know when I release the next one, and go watch my next video on maturity models, because again, I love this topic, and I go a little bit deeper and I show you measurements and models, and I just go a little bit deeper, and so I'm excited about you guys seeing that one as well, and I put it right there so you guys will be able to get to it. Thanks again. I'll see you online. Thanks.